My fuck it moment, I think it would have to be when things were coming to a close with my last record label. Because I think when you first get signed as an artist, well, for me anyway, record deal is like, that's everything, you know, and it's important, obviously, it's a big thing. But I'd spent the first half of my career being like, you know, the record deal is everything, the record label is, you know, the key to all of this happening for me and stuff. And you know, we did the first album and it was great, and I had some success, and I was really appreciated everything that happened. But you know, they are one of the biggest record labels in the world. So when I didn't want to perform crappy pop songs, which is what they essentially wanted me to end up doing, they sat me down and were like, look, we know that you do this and we know that you make music like this, but essentially we want to make you a pop artist, so we're just going to tell you that now. So I'm like, okay. And then they start sending me these, I write my own songs, you know, but then they start sending me songs like, okay, we really want you to try and record it, we want you to do this and do that. And it was just so stupid. Like, even if I had done it, my fans would have just been like, what is this, you know? It would have been counterproductive for everyone. Anyway, so things naturally started to grind to a halt with them, and it was funny because by the time it got to that point, I was just like, fuck it. Like, fuck these people. Like, they don't know what I do. Like, they don't know what I'm about. They don't understand that if they went with what I'm doing, which is what people follow me for, that if they put the weight behind that, that's what would work, you know? So it was just interesting that it got to that point, and that was my fuck it moment, that when it came to kind of doing a second album with them, it was like, no, it just wasn't gonna work. And so I spent like a year unsigned, just figuring it out, you know, continuing to make the music and getting things ready to go in for the next situation. And that made me, that period of time was very important for me, because it made me realize that a record label is not the glue that holds your music or your career together or your artistry. You know, they are the very last piece of the puzzle when you need that little extra money for a music video or whatever it is, you know, that's what they're for. And so, yeah, I think that fuck it moment was good, because it just made me realize that the value of what I do is obviously in the music, it's in my fans who are there from the, you know, through everything, you know, regardless of whether it's a label or it's whatever, they're waiting for the music and ready to support. And then, you know, your other team members and stuff who stay around, you know. So yeah, that was my fuck it moment. My current label situation is a much more artist-friendly situation. And it just gives me a lot more freedom, you know, that, you know, I can kind of make the decisions. I've got like my own kind of imprint, and yeah, it's great. It's exactly what I need it to be. And you know, I'm not, again, labels are labels. I don't feel like any label is sent from heaven, you know. So we'll see how it goes. But they've been great. They've been great so far, and everything's going well with the single. And it's just good. The main thing is to just have artistic freedom and be able to make your own decisions. So yeah.